In reefing, every now and then you change something and it doesn't do what you expected it to do. And when that happens, it's time to test. But knowing what to test and when to test it can be the difference between success and failure. I tried to make an improvement and that may have backfired on me. This week we're going to do some tests on my tank that are particularly important for this particular tank. Here's what's going on. So I've been using a Kessel purple light in my refugium and I've had no problems with it the whole time I've had the tank, which is for about 3 years now. But I fancy a change, and what I've got is, if you look in the tank, I've got a lot of GSP and a lot of zinnia, and I want to start working that down into the sun, but that won't grow under a purple light. So what I did was I used a different light, which is just a test. It was just a test light. I put a test light on there, and the growth literally like doubled as soon as I put it on. So I was like, great, this is KO needs a different type of spectrum. The purple light grew well, but this particular spectrum grew even better. So I thought. So what I did was I did the hasty thing. I took the Kessel light off and I sold that light, which left me with the test light, and I was going to just use that one temporarily until I decide which one I want to use. The idea is that the light spectrum can be used to grow the algae as well as grow the corals too. But I may have jumped the gun here in taking that Kessel light off. What's happened is I took the Kessel off and the growth of the algae slowed down to slower than I've ever seen it before. And what I'm starting to think is it's not the light spectrum that's made the algae grow quicker, it's actually the extra power and the more light that's made it grow quicker, because I was running both at the same time. So I made a mistake here. So what I'm concerned about is that I use my refugium for controlling phosphates and nitrates, and what I'm concerned about is the growth has slowed down. So as that slowed down, have my nitrates and phosphates gone up, which is a problem for the tank. So we're going to be doing some tests today to work out what's going on. Like many other reef keepers out there that have got kids, I'm sure you want to involve your kids in the reef tank as well. And I always try and do that, but sometimes it comes at a cost.
Dad, you have to wear a necklace. If you want to play with me, wear a necklace.
No, I don't want to play with you. I want to do necklace.
Wear a necklace.
Wear the
necklace. Wear the necklace. Wear the necklace.
We'll do the spells game, and then we'll do the tank test.
Wear the necklace.
No.
Wear the necklace. Wear the necklace.
Okay, ready?
A little more.
Expelliarmus.
Expecto Patronum.
Bombarda.
Mors Mater.
That's not small.
Yes.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Potato.
Bombarda. Crucio.
Agumenti.
Avada Kedavra.
Immobilis.
Septa Sempra.
What is it about?
I think we should call it a draw.
No. But I've got stuff in my mind.
Yeah, I've got loads of stuff in my mind. Stupefy.
Krypton Central.
Okay, it's a draw, yeah?
No.
You definitely draw?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You admit it's a draw, yeah?
No.
Definitely a draw.
No.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Accio.
No, I've already said that.
I win!
Descendio!
I win!
Descendio!
I win!
Descendio!
I win! I'm going to be releasing weekly videos and updates about my tank, so if you do want more videos like this one, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and if you want to know when I release my next video, hit the bell for future notifications. Okay, so what we're looking for today is we want to work out what direction are we going with nitrates and phosphates. So have things stayed stable. My tanks always run at pretty much 0 because of the size of the refugium and the light that I've had on there, I believe. And we want to work out, is it still there, or are things starting to creep up, which may create a problem. Even if they haven't gone up too much, it may create a problem in the future. Or have they just spiked, which will totally ruin the stability of the tank and is going to be a real problem for the corals inside the tank, which that's the worst case scenario. We really don't want that. So when these tests are done, we don't want bright colours, we want nice light colours, but we'll see how it goes. One of the things I do, I picked up from another reef keeper, is just watch some of the more sensitive corals in my tank. The most sensitive I've got in there by far is the phosphate. I don't know why, I don't know if that's normal, but I just know as soon as something is out of whack and the stability of a particular thing goes up or down, that coral sulks, and it's a really good indicator to go, wow, look, you know, the polyps have gone in on a forest fire, there must be something amiss, and it's a good indication that to do some testing and find out what exactly is going on. So that's my first line of defence. The second line of defence is just observing what's going on in the rest of the tank, doing regular tests.
Meanwhile,
Take this kind of serious. It's a big screen.
You go first?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Zinga.
Salifert.
Right. GSP. No, look in the tank.
Dunker.
Ooh. Trumpet.
Golden pipe.
Chalice.
Golden.
Golden bush.
Zinga.
No, I've said Zinga. I've said Zinga. Green mountain.
Then it's sponge.
Ooh. Aquapora. Frog skin aquapora.
Green torch.
Big one. Gorgonian.
Colony Navi.
That's not a one.
You did it last time.
Oh, I didn't have one. But you're getting better now. No, I'm not going to let you have it. Pick a different one. You're getting better now.
Colony Navi.
No.
Denied.
What's that mushroom?
Oh, good one. Recordia Yuma.
For one week after
Ooh, good. What are you laughing at?
You're saying.
You're laughing at?
You're saying. Just do your thing.
Okay. Did I say chalice?
Did you?
No, no.
Actually, did. No, I didn't.
Chalice.
Hers doesn't it?
That's a made-up word.
That's not a coral. That's not one.
Grillis nipples. Grillis nipples.
Okay. What type of corals are Gorilla's nipple?
So,
Okay. Okay, have that one. Millipora.
California.
California.
Ah, good one. You said there wasn't any more in the tank. You're a cheater. Cabbage.
Superman.
Thank you.
Thank you, is it cool?
Can you just call me a Superman?
He isn't. Yeah, go on, forward.
I'll say Godia Paul, I've already had that one.
No, you haven't.
I have to.
You
I
haven't.
have to.
He hasn't.
I have to.
He hasn't.
You're cheating.
He hasn't.
You're cheating.
He
You're
hasn't.
cheating. You're cheating. Admit you lost.
No.
Admit you lost.
No.
Admit you lost.
No.
Admit you lost.
Game over.
I'm always looking for ways to involve my kids with the reef tanks, things that aren't too heavy to get them involved and engaged with. So if you've got any ideas or things you do with your kids to get them involved with reef tank that they love doing, then drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear about those. Okay, so something interesting has happened today. So Ari was doing a test, and what she noticed is the test water went pink, and it's not supposed to go pink. It doesn't normally go pink when we do a phosphate test. And she did the right thing. She chucked that water away and started again, and then we got what looked like a more typical result of what we'd expect to see. So it was a bit of a reality check on how tests work. They're not perfect, and nor are the people doing them. I don't believe Ari made a mistake with the test because she's pretty good at following the instructions. But maybe there was some contamination, some water in the test file that wasn't cleaned out properly the time before. So I always go by the mantra: if you test for a result and it is very different from last time, or it's very different from what you expect, then I will discount that test straight away and immediately do one again, just to see if I get the same result or if it's a little bit of a wacky test. So it's a good example of what can happen with these tests. Okay, so we've got the nitrate test come through. As normal, that's come through as completely clear, 0. We have 0 nitrates, which is not unusual. That's what I'd expect to see. But looking at the phosphate test, it looks like we've got a slight blue tinge, which means we've got some sort of phosphate in the water. And again, that's normally clear in the tank. So that tells me that phosphate is on the increase. And that doesn't normally happen before. So it's not a problem at the minute. You could even say it's at a more desirable level at 0.03. But we certainly don't want to see that keep continuing. So in the space of a week, it's gone up to that level. So I need to sort of act out and get myself a new light. So we'll be doing that in the next few weeks. So in terms of knowing what to test and when to test it, today's test is definitely a success. It's not the result that I wanted, but it's a success because it allowed me the time to get in front and fix the issue before it becomes a problem. I'm now going to have to go on a journey of finding out which light is good for both growing algae and soft corals as well, because that's what I want to turn my refugium into, hopefully in the future. Anyone that's got experiences like that, drop me a comment below. I'll be interested to read about those. But I expect to be buying a new light in the next few weeks. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and comment on the video, and also subscribe and hit the bell if you want future notifications of when I release it on next video. I'm Mark Russell signing off. Keep reefing and stay curious, and if you like the video, I'll see you in the next one.